What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp. It is March 2nd, 2020. This is the Fightful.com Raw post-show podcast. We are joined by Denise Salcedo, where you can see like everywhere right now. Our first super chat, which you can get by donating any amount live on youtube.com/Fightful. Get your statement or question read on the air. Anakin says, just tell Denise her Taylor Swift video was great.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You know that video that has 80,000 views already did more than my video with 300,000 views?
Really?
Yes, that CPM is good right now, so help me out. Go watch that video,
yeah,
even if you're not a fan.
Go check it out. Denise has a lot of great stuff over on her channel. We've, like I said, donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air, but I have a special treat for you guys that are up late tonight, premiering right after this show on YouTube's Fightful and Fightful.com. I have a video interview with Gail Kim, Christy Hemme, and Lita about their new kayfabe product that they just announced. They are starting a women-led wrestling program that will be women-centric, but they say it's going to be edgy, it's going to be racy. It's not, in Christy Hemme's words, not a show she wants her children to watch. And they go into great detail about this and what they're trying to accomplish. And yeah, I spoke to him for about, I think, 25 minutes. It is well worth a listen. Usually I spread out the interviews and I would release this next week, but I thought, why not premiere it right after the Raw podcast? So stick around and check that out. But right now, listen or leave a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. But Denise, Monday Night Raw tonight.
You know what? It was not a bad show. I think it was definitely an improvement from last week, and there was a lot of things that happened on the show that I'm very excited to talk about.
Yeah, there were a few good things. There were a few really stupid things. Oh my God, there were
a mixture
really
of both.
Things.
Like really good stuff and then some real bad stuff, I think.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. WWE Raw for tonight. Reminder, guys, this Sunday is Elimination Chamber. This Saturday, a UFC pay-per-view. But Brock Lesnar kicked off this episode of Raw. Paul Heyman says that he's supposed to build WrestleMania, but the main event is a sham. This is after he talks about how stacked WrestleMania is. He says that Drew McIntyre took advantage of a tired Brock Lesnar at the Rumble, and he calls Drew a bitch, which brings out Drew. And after that, you get a drubbing. This, I thought, was awesome. We finally saw a little bit something else out of Drew McIntyre. He had a Claymore and walked off. Lesnar woke up. He looked embarrassed, and the crowd sang the goodbye song to him. They were chanting for one more, and then when Lesnar gets to the ramp, they are obliged. Drew McIntyre hits another one. I thought everybody from Lesnar to Heyman to Drew to the crowd were all awesome here, Denise. What did you think?
This was absolutely perfect. So the first thing that I was thinking automatically when Brock came out and they were talking, Paul Heyman was giving his promo, etc., I thought to myself, finally, they are giving some substance to this feud, because prior to this, it was really just, okay, Drew McIntyre wins the Royal Rumble. Bam, he's going to have this match with Brock Lesnar and really nothing more. But now, after tonight, they added so much to it. First of all, they made Drew McIntyre look like a big deal. Yeah. He looks like if let's just say I wasn't a fan of him already, I would have became a fan of his tonight. Brock Lesnar, you never see him in a position like this where he's weak, where he's down, where he's beaten, where he's essentially sidetracked 3 times. He got 3 Claymore kicked. So he was essentially had those moments unexpected. So you never see Brock Lesnar in that position. So I think they did a really, really tremendous job at making Drew McIntyre look like a big deal and actually look like a big time babyface. So this was awesome. I thought that everything felt major, and I think that now I want to see Brock Lesnar get pissed. I want to see him get angry, because no one does this to Brock Lesnar. So the fact that we are now going to get super angry, savage Brock Lesnar, and Drew McIntyre has all of this confidence riding going into WrestleMania, I think that those two temperaments clashing together are going to make for a really good, exciting match.
Yeah, I just thought this was a great way to build it up. I am wondering, like, okay, they've got 4 more Raws. How will they stretch it out? That is always a concern whenever I think of WWE. And we'll find out why stretching things out can be a concern for WWE a little bit later in the show. But Brock Lesnar sold for him like $1 million. Drew got over. This is one of those things, like, some people just don't need to talk all the time to get over. And this is a perfect explanation, a perfect example of that. Drew came out, he kicked Brock over and over and over again, and he got over. He was already over, but he got over more. And that was pretty cool. I just hope it's sustainable, and I think we're going to find that out. This was just very, very good.
And I think that was one of the things that we've been talking about was how are people going to stay consistent and stay supporting Drew McIntyre. And yeah, he'd been coming out for weeks. He's been having a lot of great mic moments. You know, he's been making everybody laugh. He's been relatable, all of that stuff. But I think we needed to see more of his, like, you know, tough guy, you know, sort of thing instead of more of like his personality. And we finally got that today. So I think the fact that they already extended it to this point, hopefully it kind of goes along the same route and better, because I feel like they can do so much with this leading up to WrestleMania.
Yeah, everybody knocked it out of the park with this segment, even all the way down to the crowd. This was a great crowd in Brooklyn tonight. I loved it. I also love FightfulSelect.com. I posted my AEW Revolution review today. I was there live. Yesterday, we saw the Weekender podcast, which is NWA, Ring of Honor, Beyond, a lot of that stuff that you all don't see covered on this show. Tomorrow, I will be posting the Backstage Report podcast, a day late since I traveled. For those of you who don't know, it is about 25 minutes of exclusive news that you're only getting at Fightful. Injury reports, contract updates, status updates on all kinds of things with contracts, injuries, all that. We're also going to have Alex's Sour Graps podcast, but I do my Q&A show there every other week too, where you can ask as many questions as you want. This weekend alone, we had exclusive news on Tony Khan not wanting AEW moving off of Wednesdays, Kenny Omega with an injury, Matt Hardy's status this weekend. A lot of confusion whether his contract had been up yesterday or the day before. We cleared that up. There's news on Backlash returning. Lots of stuff over at FightfulSelect.com. Directly support us that way. But hey, right now you can send a super chat any amount. Get your question or statement read on the air. They announced today a now or never match, and quite honestly, I hated the announcement, Denise. Street Profits defeated Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy, and good for the Street Profits, but they haven't been really booked as special. This was their fourth title shot since December. And I'm thinking, like, why do they get a fourth one? Not only that, we're running this match back Sunday, Denise, and it was a good match. It was a very good, very fun match. And I saw people say, oh, well, that Tope con Hilo spot was good. They did that last week, too, because they keep wrestling each other.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixture now of all the same guys.
Yeah, and, like, Ford did a nice Hurricane Rana that I liked into Buddy Murphy's kick. I did love the finish. AOP tried to interfere, but Owens showed up, hit a stunner, capitalized, and I like that. The distraction backfired. And that makes Kevin Owens look smart. Makes the Street Profits look smart. It makes the heels look bad. And AOP, upset about what happened, chased Owens out. And the place came unglued for the Street Profits. So I can complain about them losing 3 title shots all I want. But in Brooklyn, they were over, and the crowd did not seem to care that much. They didn't care about what had happened in the past with Street Profits. They did care that they won the match.
And I think because regardless of what's happened with the Street Profits, they've been consistently good on TV. They've been consistently getting those pops from the crowds through, every week. We always see something insane happen in their matches or something just really cool. So I think that the fans, instead of remembering that, hey, they had 3 title shots in the past and it didn't work out, I think instead they remember how they feel when they're watching the Street Profits and what kind of matches they've been having, which overall have been pretty good. And so that's why I think, like, hey, they got this pop. And it's funny because for a second, it took me aback. It took me a few seconds to say, that means they're champions now. For some reason, it didn't hit me as hard. So I almost hate myself because I kind of missed that initial, reaction when it actually happened. But overall, I love the fact that I loved how this all played out because it really added more to the Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins storyline. I liked how this match all worked out. One of the 2 people that I really am enjoying seeing in the ring together, though, is Seth Rollins and Montez Ford. Because I think, Yes, they are so good together. Like they go at the same speed. They seem to know like everything that they do together. I think works really well. So I really like seeing them together. There was this camera shot though that was hilarious because I think when they were running back into the crowd, out of nowhere you just see Buddy Murphy's body flying across the camera. I have no idea what happened to him, but you just see him like pass through. I thought that was epic. I was like, okay, we need more people talking about that because that was great. But it was a fun ending, I think.
Yeah, my favorite spot of this entire match situation, as much as I'm happy for the Street Profits and them winning, Rollins being upset that Charlie Caruso came up to him later. Like, he has just the best reaction when he is displeased by something. He's like, ah, Charlie on the spot. I loved it. And he challenged Street Profits to a rematch. Like, why do we need it again? Third time in a week and a half, man. Corey Graves even notices this. He brought it up on his podcast. Like, the same matches over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I bet we probably would have saw Viking Raiders and OC again if Eric hadn't been sick. Oh, my God.
I mean, I guess now that they have the titles, that will add to it, kind of make it feel a little new, but hey, work with what you've got, right?
Anakin JMT says, Backlash and Money in the Bank need to switch months. Yeah, I think so too. I don't think they need to blow Money in the Bank the month after WrestleMania. I mean, if you want to do it and sustain your Money in the Bank winner over months and months, sure, but they've been blowing it lately, quite frankly, like just jumping out there real quick, and I never quite liked that. Anakin had also sent a super chat last week. He said, does anybody really buy Randy Orton being conflicted? It seems out of character after all we've seen him do. Now, he sent this question last week, and we didn't get to it, and tonight we're gonna. And I'm just going to let that linger there because, yes, I did buy it, especially after this promo, and I can't wait to talk about it, Anakin. My God, that promo was amazing. What is not amazing, Denise, Riddick Moss defended the 24/7 championship by defeating Ricochet. The crowd chanted, "Who are you?" at Riddick Moss. Moss dumped Ricochet over the top rope with a fall-away slam, but then he beat him with, it's okay. It's basically, if you all remember Adam Rose's party foul, it's the inverted version of that, like a neck breaker where Riddick falls forward, Ricochet falls backward. I thought Ricochet was winning the title here. Instead, Riddick Moss has the longest reign in title history. I got some feelings about this, Denise. Go ahead and share yours.
I just gotta say, if you've ever thought of the word demotion, this is what I felt when I was watching this match. I just thought to myself, poor Ricochet. How do you go from having a match with Brock Lesnar to all of a sudden you're having a match for the 24/7 title against Riddick Moss and you just get absolutely destroyed? This was just bad for Ricochet. I can't think of anything good that he's gotten in the last few weeks. As a matter of fact, like I just feel like at this point he needs to like get off of TV, be gone for a bit, and then hopefully come back or something and just have this whole rejuvenation because we need to forget everything that's been going down with Ricochet for a while if we ever want to have him do anything in the company because right now it just kind of feels like, yeah, it just doesn't look good for him. It really does not.
Ricochet is legitimately one of the most amazing athletes in the world, and hopefully this leads to him getting something out of it, like some sort of motivation. There were a lot of people that I saw that were like, oh man, him in the 24/7 championship match. You all should have been happy that he was. The man makes the title, and Ricochet can make a title. Especially with that, I would have loved to have seen Ricochet avoiding people backstage, like doing some of the cool shit that he's able to do. Like I think that'd be a good spot for John Morrison in the future too. People are chasing him with the 24/7 title. He's just gonna parkour over everything. He's gonna treat him like Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. Like that's a good spot for somebody to make that title that means absolutely nothing right now. And I've been pretty fair on WWE. I would even say lenient on WWE recently. Not after Thursday, man. Not after Thursday. That's got me in rant mood now. And Ricochet is beyond this. My hope that rarely comes to fruition, Denise, is that this will lead to something for Ricochet. Because I can't imagine a positive. I got an NXT wrestler right now texting me, and they said, and I quote, "Who the fuck did Ricochet piss off? He must have heat. Like, no way does anything good come from this."
That's exactly what I was thinking. He has to have heat or something, because come on, look at the guy. He's being destroyed.
Yeah.
And then the way he got pinned too, with the double legs up, like, come on, that was bad.
That's true. That was a deep pin. That's one you do when you know somebody isn't kicking out. Ugh.
That one just, like, I feel it belittled him, to be honest. It belittled him. Like, that's exactly what I got from that pin. Like, you don't mean anything. And it's just like, it was messed up, man. I was like, okay, no, he could have gotten pinned and all of that, but that extra touch to me was just like, oof.
See, my thing is with WWE, I think that they think they're too cute sometimes, and they're like, oh, this will get heat. Us making a bad booking decision will get heat. That's what they do a lot. They're like, oh, well, this bad booking decision will piss off a lot of people, and that's heat. But it ain't really. It's just a bad booking decision. Look at, and I hate to bring up AEW. I really hate to bring up AEW here because this is a WWE show, but look at AEW. Quite frankly, the majority of their good booking decisions are predictable. But you know what? That ain't bad, because if it's good TV, it's good TV.
That's true. That's true. I've been hearing that argument as of late, like the last couple of months. I have been hearing that argument that if it's predictable, does that take away from it being good? And to be honest, I feel like as long as it's done right, even if it's predictable, if it's done right, I think that it can go a long way. But I do love the element of surprise, and I prefer the element of surprise, but I just feel like it depends on the situation and what is happening.
Yeah, man. I would have loved to have seen Ricochet with this title, because they took a very fun, creative, good idea and made it terrible almost immediately. They almost immediately made this corny, Denise. And this title is based on all the great stuff that Crash Holly did with the hardcore title back in the day. And obviously they want to go a different route with this, and that's fine. But the route that they're taking is a shitty one. It's real bad.
Now I'm wondering if they're trying to like make the belt seem more important instead of having all of these goofy runoffs in the back where one guy gets tricked, etc. And now we're going into the matches instead. But you know, at least now we get to see what Riddick Moss gets to do with it.
Anakin says, "Can we get another entrance music podcast?" You will. You will. That one was very good. I think me and Denise need to do a TNA one.
I actually have another podcast idea for you.
Okay, hit me with it.
Okay, I think that we should talk about big moments of like wrestlers making appearances in like pop culture stuff,
Sure.
like movies and stuff, and like react to that. I think that would be really cool because come on, there's been so many great stuff that you can talk about, like fun, you know, little skits and segments and stuff like that.
Whenever we have a replacement show for Listen Your Boy from now on, whenever Jimmy's on vacation or whatever, I'm hitting up Denise. We're going to do the Listen Your Girl. That's episode 2, pop culture. Then we'll get to another wrestling music one. It's a good time. Go back and check that out, guys, because the first Listen Your Girl episode, it's evergreen. It's going to work no matter when you check it out.
Rob, I think that podcast episode had the most comments like on my Twitter feed from any episode that we've done.
Yeah, people love to talk about entrance music, and Ross sucked so bad that night. Rob Wilkins says, SRS, what's your gut say Matt Hardy is going to do? Lots of things tying to AEW based off of YouTube videos, and notice Twitter is liking Rollins again. So, I mentioned on Twitter a while back in Free the Delete, which we post all the episodes on Fightful, Matt Hardy said, hello, fellow brother, it's been a while. This week on Being the Elite, they get a call from a 910 phone area code. Initially, when I Googled it, it said a different area. And honestly, quite frankly, the Revival's area code back in, like, from where they're from. But I learned because I've interviewed Matt Hardy like 5 times. I just went to my phone and looked at his number. That's his area code too. So I had people saying, that's not Cameron's area code. Well, it's Matt Hardy's area code. And I know that because I've been interviewing the guy for 5 years. Since he was in TNA, I've been interviewing the guy.
Okay, you need to do an Easter egg video, okay? You need to put together all of these clues and explain them to people. I think that would be a good video idea.
It's working for you. It's working for you, I'll tell you that much. But I think he'll go to AEW. I think he'll go to AEW, but I do know, because I reached out and I said, has a decision been made? He said, no. I am still entertaining offers. That's all I could get. And I don't feel comfortable always asking people like that because I feel like it's their announcement to make. And a lot of that stuff, I mean, if I put it out there, I'm like, oh, well, you know, it's out there. But he said the decision hasn't been made. However, Young Bucks in their video said, oh, we got to go. We got to get on a plane. We got to go. Well, the Free the Delete finale was supposed to happen today. It is now happening Wednesday. I do not think that's a coincidence. I do not think that's a coincidence.
I think, like, let's just play with the idea that let's just say he's not going to AEW because I firmly believe that he is. But let's just say that he isn't, and that, you know, he's talking about, he said to you that he has, he's listening to the other offers. I think he has to. I mean, how many times haven't you heard of somebody that you're like, oh, he's for sure going to go here. He's for sure going to go here. And then all of a sudden, they had some other I mean, Marty Scurll's one of them.
Yeah.
Everyone thought he was going to go to AEW, and then swerve, bam, look what happens. And, you know, we've seen that with other people as well, where you think, oh, 100% he's going to go here. But then he listens to the other offers, and you just never know what people are willing to put up, especially given right now how competitive things are getting and how fast people are trying to claim talent.
And like, what would he say to me? Yep, pick an AEW. Well, you know what I do? My job, and then I report it. So
exactly.
Of course he's going to say that. Andy Q says, shouldn't it be your girl and your boy since JV is the list? That ain't his nickname. It's just a dumb name, a shitty name that I've never liked. I've never liked that podcast name, but you know what? It's the name of the podcast, and that's what it is at this point. Timothy Hughes says, why are they lowballing Ricochet? This kid has maximum potential. # buried. Yeah, that was a weird booking decision. I don't like to use the term buried, but losing the way he did last week, first off, losing the way you do to Brock Lesnar last week, sometimes that just happens. Sometimes champions are unbeatable and untouchable. Tonight, that's shitty.
Yeah, I would use the term buried for this one.
I would too. He lost to Riddick Moss. He lost to a guy who was getting "Who are you?" chanted at him.
It's been like, what, 2 weeks since we've had Riddick Moss on Raw TV? Yeah, I think this was his third week. Not
long enough. AJ Styles comes out. He is mad about Mark Wahlberg telling him to duck Undertaker. Now, I'll say this. I've been looking into Fightful stats a lot lately. And we do very well in like the teenage demographic, the 18 to 34 demographic, and we have a shockingly high female demographic. And like, I follow some people on Stan Twitter. People on Stan Twitter are usually in their 20s. I was shocked at how many people did not know what Marky Mark meant. They did not know. Do you know what it means, Denise?
No. I knew that was coming. I was like, dang, I should have Googled that before.
I'm so old.
I'm sorry. When I heard that, I was like, oh, it has to be some sort of reference for something that I probably missed or didn't watch.
You know Mark Wahlberg used to be a rapper, right?
Well, no.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Mark Wahlberg was a rapper in the early 90s. You could argue that John Cena's character, especially geographically, because Mark Wahlberg's from the Boston, Massachusetts area. Damn, man.
Wow.
That it was largely based off of the Marky Mark character. He had a few hit songs, actually. You've never heard Good Vibrations?
Well, I've heard the song, but I guess I didn't really pay much attention to that.
Yeah, that's him.
What? No, isn't good. I think I'm probably confusing it with a different song then.
You've heard this song. There's no way you have not heard Good Vibrations. Maybe you've heard Wild Side, I Need Money, You Gotta Believe, maybe. But by 92, they were cooked.
Why do I feel
done.
like I'm associating that with the Beach Boys?
Well, I'm sure there's like some shitty Beach Boys song named that too.
Okay, well, see, then that's when I think of that. Why do my brain automatically?
You have,
but
for
I don't know. Someone
sure.
could correct me. Someone could correct me, but I don't know.
Listen.
So yeah, that reference just went
A lot of people are surprised to learn I'm 34, but man, I am shocked. I was 5, 6 when this came out. So you are probably not even born yet.
I was born in 92, so okay. I don't know.
This went number 1 in 91. But,
all right, see, there you go. You can't blame me.
Damn. Man.
Okay, so at least I wasn't the only one.
I mean, surely you know that his brother was in New Kids on the Block, right?
All right, that's it. I'm done. I need to go and like.
You didn't know that? You didn't know that?
I did not know that. I'm sorry. I need to go and like read up on Mark Wahlberg.
You work for AfterBuzz. You work for a giant pop culture outlet.
And I didn't know that.
What the hell is going on here? AfterBuzz, fly me in. I'm gonna take your job, Denise. What is going on here?
Oh my God.
Next time you talk to Sean Waltman, I want you to tell him that you didn't know that Marky Mark was a rapper.
I've learned a lot of things on that podcast, and one of them was the one that like I.
It's such a good vibration. Holy shit! You don't know that song?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's such a sweet sensation. Holy sh! That's for Hannah's super chat, by the way.
You know. Yeah, I have no comment. No comment. Am I the only person on the chat? Like, is there anybody here on the chat that is like on my side here?
Now, see,
or am I getting ripped apart?
When I became shocked about this was there's a friend of mine, Dano, on Twitter, big Becky Lynch fan, who didn't know, and I was like, what? And I linked to the video thinking, oh, surely she knows. This will remind her. No, she doesn't know because she's not 30. So, man. Shane Haas says, I hope they do a Twins remake with Cena and Wahlberg. Oh, my God.
I was thinking that, though. I was like, man, they look alike. Okay, see?
Damn. This is going to be the latest epic Triggered Rant video.
Oh, no.
And those all let me just tell you, those all do numbers.
Oh, my God. You know, I probably feel the way you do. When I asked my sister if she knew who Britney Spears was, and she was just kind of like, about it and didn't really like know or care. And I was absolutely in shock. So I feel like that's like how you must feel.
I feel like once upon a time when I was 15, I had my first conversation with a couple of Amish girls. That's how I feel right now talking to you. Because they were like,
oh my God.
Because they were like, ask us whatever you want. Because we were curious. We didn't know shit. And we're like, what do you all know about, like, pop culture? And they're like, well, we know who, like, Britney Spears is because we see her on magazine covers, but we've never heard her music.
So now I'm the Amish girl. Oh, my God.
Man. Chris Ferris says, we need a supercut of all of Denise's failures at pop culture references in addition to the Blue Chew spot. The Blue Chew one is coming. It is coming.
How about we just make a whole segment called Epic Fail of Denise Salcedo? So it's clearly like the only person living under a rock here.
Wait, do you know that the Wahlbergs...
I don't even want to answer any more questions.
Do you know that they're in the restaurant business?
No.
They had a TV show about it.
I'm done. Like, I literally apparently know nothing about
Wahlburgers. It's actually pretty good.
I'm gonna like go learn everything about Mark Wahlberg right now.
Damn.
That's like my homework for today.
Shane Haas says WWE released a future endeavors tweet about Matt Hardy. Yeah. Oh man, Denise. I feel like there's something I'm missing right here.
I feel like I'm gonna get fired. I feel like tomorrow I'm gonna get that you are no longer with Fightful podcast.
I would never.
We wish you well in your future endeavors.
I would never. Anakin says, Denise, I'm 33 and I didn't know Donnie was in New Kids. I knew about Mark, though. Anakin,
Okay.
did you not know a single girl? Because when I was growing up, that's all girls listened to was New Kids on the Block. Oh, my God.
It was Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, okay? I am full of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC fans.
Yeah, and that was probably the same age where I knew girls that listened to New Kids on the Block. Because when I was a teenager, that's when people listened to NSYNC. Hannah Moore says, I'm 26, stop aging me. Oh, man. Well, we do have other wrestling stuff to talk about. Alistair Black comes out. Now, after all this, Styles is supposed to face Alistair Black, but he tells Black he's got to go through Carl Anderson. So then he has to go through Luke Gallows. There are commercials in each one of these first two matches, and they're both boring matches. They're both pointless. And then he beats them both, of course. I saw this and I understood you're getting heel heat, but these matches were boring.
Yeah, they were not good. I think it actually took away from some of the excitement that I had for this match too. I was like, oh, okay, like I'm looking forward to this. I think I even said this last week. Oh, I'm really looking forward to this match, and it just took all the excitement away from me on this one. I think at one point you just saw everything coming, and here's where everything coming and seeing everything coming didn't work, because everyone saw the whole, first he has to face Carl Anderson and now he has to face Gallows. Okay, everyone saw that coming, and it was probably one of the duller moments for tonight's show, unfortunately.
Styles,
I did kind of like the ending though, a little bit.
Yeah, Styles does beat Alistair Black. This is Alistair Black's first singles loss in over a year. It's his first on the main roster. Phenomenal forearm and a brainbuster gets it done. Styles very excited to get involved. Gallows had got DQ'd for stomping Black. Anderson came in and helped. They're building up some more of this, obviously. Elimination Chamber, they're having a rematch because you can never have a first-time match on pay-per-view anymore, which is very frustrating. But after seeing The Undertaker hobble around last week, it would not shock me to see Undertaker and Alistair Black against the OC in a handicap match at Mania, especially considering the fact that I wouldn't trust Undertaker in a singles match alone. Although if I were to trust him with somebody, it'd probably be AJ.
Yeah, I totally 100% get what you're saying, and I agree with that. And it sucks because, obviously people just want to see Taker AJ. I personally wouldn't want to see everything else. Like, I would want to see that specific match. But I think given from what we saw, he wasn't looking as strong.
Yeah, this could have... I mean, I'm okay with them setting up the match, and I guess this was an okay way to get some heat. And they protected him pretty heavily. He had to go through 3 guys. So whatever. Then we get a match that I did not like at all. Liv Morgan defeated Ruby Riott. Special ref, Sarah Logan. Riott said there's no friends inside the Elimination Chamber during a pre-match promo. Sarah Logan was the ref. Not a good one. Crowd was silent for this. This is Ruby's first match since May, so they really should have given her some live event time or something. I understand they're not doing a lot of those, but she's got some rust to work off. She gets pinned after kicking Liv's ass, but then she gets into it with Logan, and Liv rolls up Ruby. This was just, I understand I'm okay with this because you're trying to integrate all 3, and you're trying to play off the Riott Squad history, but Ruby Riott's back and she gets beat immediately, even though it's a fast count. So I'm not the worst thing that could happen, but it's hard to believe that Ruby Riott's going to be of any value after this.
Yeah, and even if they're trying to play off of that, they could have done it a lot better. I mean, I just feel like even with that history, they could have done something different. But I just feel like this completely fell short of expectations. This match was definitely there was really even nothing to say about it, to be honest. There was some focus on Sarah Logan, which I thought was cool at the end. I thought everything that happened at the end, all the post-match stuff was fine. But there was no interest, I think, from the crowd, and I know from myself there was no interest, and I think yeah, and the comparison too between this match and the next women's match, the Kairi Shayna match, was the difference between night and day, to be honest.
Yes, after the match, Liv Morgan hit a great enziguri. I love her enziguri, one of the best in wrestling. and then gets booted by Sarah. That's okay. I just don't feel like they could add so much story and substance to this, and they're just like relying on, here they are. They used to be friends. Let them fight. It feels like sometimes WWE can't see the forest for the trees in some of their storyline. And it's interesting because sometimes people won't be able to see your dick through the trees. That is your bush. If you're rocking a bush down there, a big, dirty, nasty one, what are you doing, fellas? Go to manscaped.com. That's right, manscaped.com, because support for Fightful is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and take it from the greatest dicksman in wrestling media. You want to check out manscaped.com, especially that Lawnmower 3.0. I mean, have you ever been there where you're taking care of yourself? First off, if you're not, you need to be. But I mean, if you're not careful, you could get a little slicey-dicey down there. You don't want this to look like some sort of ECW 1995 Axl Rotten Balls Mahoney match, because much like Balls, you might get cut up. And you don't want that to happen. Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. Manscaped's engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created, and just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0. Their third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to prevent manscaping accidents. Millions of balls are about to be nick-free thanks to this Manscaped advanced skin-safe technology. I mean, it's the place to be. If you pull down your pants and she goes, "Where is it? And why did you bring Bob Ross to this party?" That's a problem. When I tell you this is premium, I mean it's premium. It's what you would call good shit, pal. The battery will last up to 90 minutes, so if you haven't taken care of yourself, you got plenty of time to do it. It's got LED lights on the damn thing. You'll think it's got a Titantron. That's probably what 4.0 will have. They'll probably hook a Titantron to this thing. 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology. And not that kind, my friends. By the way, there's a charging stand, too. You can show your mower off. Like, you can charge it up on your island in your kitchen if you want. Don't know why you would. But, I mean, this thing is special. Don't be using the same trimmer that you use on your face. That's gross, bro. And if you want 20% off plus free shipping, use the code FIGHTFUL at manscaped.com. That's how you let them know that you like what we're doing here, that you like this segue, that you like Denise's facial reactions. I almost said Denise's facial reactions, but hey, whatever. Manscaped.com, code FIGHTFUL. Actually, hit them up at Twitter, even if you don't have any intent on using this. Tell them that we sent you. Say, you know what? I love that Manscaped read at Manscaped. 20% off, free shipping. Manscaped.com.
Men have some very, very cool products. I gotta say that.
Listen, right now I'm rocking 2 dick sponsors. The greatest dicksmen in wrestling media. I am teaching you all how to take care of it. Take it from me.
Please make that into a shirt. Like, that is the shirt, the number one shirt that I should be seeing being worn during WrestleMania season. Right?
There's no way Jimmy will let that happen.
You need to make that into a shirt or a mug something. Or a mouse pad.
Well, I'd rather be talking about dick hair than talking about this dick hair of a segment. Erick Rowan runs into Jose in the conga line backstage, and they want to know what's in the cage. And he goes, "Okay, you want to know?" And he pulls out an electronic spider that everybody runs from. This poor guy cannot catch a break. The original Wyatt family, doomed. They all got hurt. The second Wyatt family, doomed. They all got hurt. His singles run, doomed. I think they made him like a vintner or something at one point. Came back the Bludgeon Brothers, doomed. They were dressed like foot soldiers from Ninja Turtles, and he got hurt. That stupid-ass attack angle on Roman Reigns last year. Ugh. Now this. They spent months building this up. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's funny. No, they had no idea what they were going to do with this. And they were like, well, we've already had him lose twice, so might as well throw it out the window. So a spider's been biting everybody? Denise, this is stupid.
The first thing I did was go on Google and check to see how big tarantulas can get, to at least see if it could come across as believable. Apparently, tarantulas get really big, so there you go, fun fact. This was I was so excited. Don't ask me why, but I was excited when he was going to actually take out whatever was inside and show it to everybody. Like, my eyes were like big. I was actually like looking at the screen because I thought, okay, I'm going to be surprised right now. They're going to show me something that I didn't expect, something I didn't see coming. And you know what? It may be corny, it may be funny, but it might actually work. So I don't know why. In my mind, I thought it might actually work. And then the tarantula robot toy thing comes out, and I'm thinking to myself, first of all, why did it have to be a spider? And secondly, I'm just looking at the little legs move, and I mean, we mentioned this right at the start when this first happened. It's going to be something super silly or just something outrageous. So hey, it kind of lived up to those expectations. But still, I don't understand what the point of this was, because nothing happened. It was just weeks of beating jobbers up for like 5 weeks, I think. And then it ended up being a tarantula.
It was 12 matches. 12.
It was 12?
He won 12 straight TV matches.
All right, well, never mind. So, man, that's a lot.
Yeah, this has been going on since October. Miserable.
Oh, God.
Chris Ferris says, greatest rooster image, man in wrestling. Shirt done. Clever and not obvious. Maybe if you had a rooster and then my head on the rooster's head, like that would be funny, but I don't think Jimmy would do that. Also, my wife's a teacher. That might not fly. Anakin says, looked like a replicator from Stargate SG-1. I don't know what that means, and I think you know I don't know what that means, so I'm going to take your comment as disrespect. Terry Allen Jr. says PS5 or Xbox One X. I've been a Sony fan from a young age after my dad bought the PlayStation. I'm a Sony guy. I always have. I had the original Xbox. My mom actually bought the Xbox for herself, and I played it, and I'm a PS5 guy. Do you game?
No, but I did play when I was a little kid. I had a Nintendo and a PlayStation.
There you go.
They weren't mine, but I played with them.
She picks PlayStation.
I only played like the wrestling games, and I'm telling you, I spent hours just creating wrestlers. That was my thing. That was it. That was my favorite thing to do.
So Asuka got pulled from her match against Shayna Baszler due to a sprained wrist, and I just love the Kabuki Warriors promos. Just Asuka being angry and screaming, and Kairi just giggling in the background. It's so condescending that I love it, and it's okay to work them against heels. I dig what they're doing with them because they seamlessly transition in and out. I really dig it. And I would argue that Kairi was a better opponent tonight for Shayna than Asuka because she's much smaller. Shayna could do a lot more. She did a great spine buster, gut wrench superplex. I love this match. When she being Shayna, stomped Kairi's leg, I was about to hurl.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought Kairi was great. I thought Shayna was great at being methodical, but then turning it up just a little bit because she has to on Raw. And I thought Becky Lynch ruled here. Her coming out on commentary and putting on King's hat, that was so good.
She looked good, too.
Yeah, I want her to just keep his crown now and be like, sorry, Jerry, mine now.
Really, I honestly, now she can start with the whole crown thing. That would be great. But this is where Raw started picking back up. There was it started off great, then it had that lull, and I think this was the point where it definitely started getting back on track. So, first of all, I loved this match. And the reason why I loved it was because Shayna Baszler came off as somebody who was twisted, and she's dark, and she doesn't care about this girl in the ring with her. She just wants to tear her apart. And Kairi Sane, first of all, she came out with all this attitude and all this fight. That slap that she gave to Shayna right at the start, she was there. She meant business. You can tell she recognized who she was in the ring with. then there was this part where Kairi is like, she's on fire, she's doing her thing, and Shayna's sitting there and she has this face like, WTF, like, what is wrong with this girl? It actually took her aback how Kairi was acting in that match. And so I actually really enjoyed those characteristics of this match. I thought that's what really made it. And Kairi sold the hell out of everything Shayna did. So that put Shayna over even more. And I just thought that the way this whole entire match was worked perfectly. I loved it.
Yeah, it worked for everybody involved. It even worked for Asuka, I would argue. I don't know if the injury is legit or not. I'll see what I can find out. Or if there's any element of truth to it. Kairi hit a nice spear too, but got put away with a Kirifuda clutch. Becky was like, I don't have my wrestling boots on, but I'll fight you anyway. This was really good. And it was followed up by a complete, just on-fire match. Humberto Carrillo and Rey Mysterio defeated Andrade and Angel Garza. Pointless promo. But Jesus, Denise, these guys lit the arena on fire. God, this was awesome. Carrillo working with these three, best possible thing for him. He doesn't have to be the focal point. Andrade and Garza are so awesome together. I'm like, okay, if they make them a full-time team, I'm not going to hate on it because they are perfect with each other. They play off each other so well. They're so similar. And Zelina is great for them, too. Rey hit a good destroyer, but the pin got broken up. Rey got a double 619, and Humberto pinned Andrade with a beautiful moonsault. I was in love with this match.
Yeah. So two things that I definitely have to say. So, well, three things actually. One, I enjoyed the match as well. Two, I honestly think that they should have Andrade and Garza as tag team partners because I think that they would actually be booked a whole lot better than if they were singles. Because the second you could separate them and they could go their own way and do their own things. The quicker it is that they're going to get lost in a shuffle. But if you have them as a solid tag team, I think that they could do a lot more. And we've been talking about this. We need more tag teams. We need more of a diverse selection of teams that we can see actually go for these belts as well. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, when's the last time we actually had a really strong Hispanic team? And so the only times, the last recent ones that I can think of were Los Guerreros. And then after that, I mean, you can't even say the Lucha House Party because come on, okay?
Yeah.
So that's really it, like in recent times that I can think of for the company. And so I thought to myself, like, they should do this and do it right because I think they could go they could go really far with this. Same thing for Rey and Humberto. Obviously not a tag team, but I think that Humberto and Rey should keep teaming up together so that Humberto can get that rub from Rey. And we've been saying that Humberto needs something, right? So let's have him get the rub from Rey, and then once time goes by, let's have him turn on Rey so that eventually he can make him into a star and people can actually care about Humberto. It's been constant every single week. Commentary is always saying about how he's just a young kid. He's just a young kid and he doesn't have experience and he doesn't have this and he doesn't have that. If he has a long story with somebody like Rey Mysterio who can put him over like this would be great. And also working in a tag team could be a lot better for Rey. So I just feel like there could be like a lot of benefits from that.
I would have originally wanted WWE to start Humberto Carrillo with his Ultimo Ninja mask and stuff, but the thing is, I see why they don't. He's a handsome fella. Vince loves handsome fellas on his roster. But the thing is, WWE has marginalized and minimized people with masks for so long. You just think they're going to be like Kalisto and Lindsay and Metalik and Sin Cara, every version of them. Just beat down, beat down, beat down. So the only one that ever matters is Rey. But if he had teamed with Rey, I think that would have been kind of cool. And you would have had something if you ever want to take it off of him. You get to have a rare mask versus something match where somebody will lose the mask. I think WWE should really implement that here and there instead of just, hey, we're hiring you right now. We're taking your mask. And I mean, I don't know that that's what happened with Carrillo. I know that he was working with the mask in MLW as well, but I think that could have helped too and would have given him and Rey a little bit more in common. But this match was great. It was so good. I loved it, and this is the type of stuff I need to see on Carrillo in.
Exactly.
this promo that ended the show. Jesus Christ. I keep saying that this is the most interested I've been in Randy Orton since Legend Killer days. Not just Evolution, Legend Killer days. And that's the prime of his Evolution run. He is cutting the best promos of his life right now. And you want to talk about a contrast, Denise? The payoff of Randy Orton's explanation compared to the payoff of Erick Rowan's cage, you couldn't be further apart. Beth Phoenix comes out to update the condition of Edge, and Randy Orton follows and tries to hug Beth. She calls him a son of a bitch. She kicked ass tonight. I pray that I get to see more Beth Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Like, I know she's got other stuff going on. I know she's doing commentary. But I feel like that Beth Phoenix left too early, way before she should have left. And that bothers me. Oh my God, I want to see more Beth Phoenix, and I want Natalya and her to challenge for the titles. We'll get there eventually. But Randy Orton says he's got an explanation for Beth. And he says that when he was 19 and at a live event in St. Louis, his hometown, he saw a lot of legends. He saw people like Davey Boy Smith, and it just named off a bunch of people. But only Edge came up to Bob Orton and said, man, I really respect you, and put over Orton to Randy. And Randy said that he was beaming with pride. He loves being the son of Bob Orton. And Edge said, I hope we get to work together in the future. And then it happened. And when Orton was digging a hole for himself and getting to a low point and doing a bunch of stuff that he shouldn't have done, Edge pulled him out of that hole and showed him that there's more to life than wrestling, showed him how to treat his family, how to treat his kids, how to treat his wife, all those things. Like, really became a late life role model to Randy Orton. Showed him that there's a family, there's more to life than just wrestling and being famous. And that when Edge came back, he saw the look in Edge's eyes and realized that Edge thought that he was going to come back full time. He thought that he was going to do this all the time. And he says that he loved Edge too much to let him do that. Whoo, boy.
That's a lot. A whole lot.
And he really gets into it. He says that he loves Beth. He loves their kids. He loves Edge. But he says that what happened isn't his fault. It's Beth's fault because she enabled Edge to do this. That Edge is a junkie for the roar of the crowd and that he's going to get himself hurt and won't be able to be there for Beth. Won't be able to be there for his kids. Keep in mind, we've heard for a long time, one wrong bump and Edge is paralyzed. It's horrifying. He says that he loves, but then, he says that he loves Beth, Edge, and their kids more than Beth ever could because Beth is an enabler. Beth slaps Randy and she kicks him, but he RKOs her. Fuck! This was amazing. Very rarely do I shout one of those out of joy, and quite frankly, before last week, I had eliminated them from the show altogether. I try not to curse. But for the good and the bad, last week's Goldberg thing had me screaming it over and over again out of bad. Randy Orton in 2020 has me just shouting and cursing with sheer joy, Denise. This ruled.
This was great. I mean, we talked about them doing, not just a basic feud here. We've talked about them reaching for a lot more, and they have. And I think that honestly, this exceeded my expectations for him tonight. I thought, okay, we're gonna have Beth Phoenix. She's gonna come out. We're gonna get a sob story, and we're gonna go from there. That was pretty much my whole expectations on this. But I think they went above and beyond with this one here. Everything Randy Orton said, the way he went so far back and added so much backstory to all of this, that it sounds like it would be something that people weren't interested in, but when you go out there and you hear it and the way that he delivered it and everything that he said and how he said it, it made it just that much more important. And it also made Randy Orton, his character, a lot stronger. So earlier, the question that we got, which was the one about whether or not we're really seeing that he's conflicted, the answer was yes. And it was mainly because of this promo, because of everything that he said. And he comes out here and he basically calls Beth Phoenix an enabler. And I thought to myself, okay, this is great. And this is great because people are always so quick to blame the wife. Whenever a husband goes down a downward spiral, the first thing people do is blame the wife, call her an enabler, tell her she wasn't taking care of him, etc. And he went out here and he did that, basically the stereotype of this. The thing that I also liked, that he kept mentioning their kids by their name. He mentioned them of several times, and that little extra touch was just kind of like, oh, you're a douche. You are a douche for mentioning his kids' names. That was great. The part where she didn't even want to shake his hand was great. And there was just a lot that they did here that I thought really worked. And it was like watching like a little movie, you know, and
Yes.
I just think that they made it really important. And I like the fact that Beth Phoenix came out here. She wasn't just a strong wrestler that we all know. No, she came out here as a strong wife and a strong mother and basically did her part like above and beyond. So I think this was all phenomenal. I want to see more of Beth Phoenix in this storyline as well. I think they could definitely play it up, you know, heading into WrestleMania.
This ruled. This ruled. Guys, this week we have just a ton of stuff. By the way, another plug for Select. We had Alex do a special free preview of Sour Graps talking about the Super Showdown stuff. We have Listin' Ya Boy every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Check that show out. It is our anchor of the entire website, our wrestling news podcast. We have another one on Thursdays, The Distraction. But we have the Wednesday Night War. We have post-SmackDown reviews with Warren Hayes. Lots of stuff. We have all the scrums up from AEW Revolution. I'm going to be posting clips all week. Tony Khan spoke with us, answered just 35, 40 minutes of questions, I think it was. It was a good time. Subscribe to Fightful Select. That's the most direct way to support us. But again, right after this, if you're watching live, Lita, Gail Kim, Christy Hemme have that interview dropping. Had one with Jason Kincaid dropping today, one of our most talented writers who has wrestled for Evolve, for Ring of Honor, for DDT. All kinds of good stuff. I have so many interviews releasing over the next few months that it's insane. Denise, what do you got going on this week?
All right, so on March 27th is my 2-year anniversary for my channel, Instincts Culture, the whole entire brand. 2 years, blah, 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 that I've been doing this. And I am officially about 200 subscribers away from hitting 25,000. Last week when I was on here, I was at 500, and now I'm at 200. So I cannot believe it. So if you haven't already checked out my channel, if you're into like pop culture, not Mark Wahlberg, and pro wrestling, you guys can definitely come on in and check out the channel and subscribe. Hopefully you guys will like some of the super random stuff that I post on there. So yeah, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo.
Now you need to go back and watch Mark Wahlberg's rap video and do a reaction video to it.
There you go. You just gave me a video idea. Thank you.
Go.
I'm writing it down now.
Leave a thumbs up, guys. Subscribe. Check out her channel. It is well worth it. Until next time, we're out.